Hello coin collectors and treasure hunters. Welcome back to our channel World Rare Coins, where we discover the fascinating world of rare coins and their incredible value. From hidden gems that could be worth a fortune to little-known coins with a rich history, we'll explore it all. So grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into today's exciting coin discovery. On top one today, we have a fascinating coin to talk about, a US 5-cent coin from 1990. But hold on to your seats, because this small nickel could be worth a lot more than you think. You might be wondering, what's so special about a 5-cent coin from 1990? Well, stick around until the end, because I'm about to reveal how much this coin could actually be worth, and trust me, it's going to blow your mind. So, let's dive in and explore why this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth up to $35,000. Before we get into the value, let's take a look at the history of the 5-cent coin from 1990. The nickel has a long and rich history in the United States, dating all the way back to the Civil War era. By 1990, the U.S. Mint had already been producing nickels for over 150 years, and the design that appeared on the 1990 5-cent coin was one of the most well-known in the country, the Jefferson nickel. This coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse, or front, of the coin. It's been a staple of U.S. currency since 1938, with a few design updates over the years. But what makes the 1990 edition stand out from the rest? In the late 1980s and early 1990s, the U.S. economy was still recovering from a series of recessions, and this period of economic uncertainty marked a pivotal moment in the country's coinage history. The 1990 nickel was struck at a time when the country was preparing for the 200th anniversary of Jefferson's birth, which was celebrated in 1993. While the 1990 nickel didn't feature any major design changes, it was part of the last few years before the U.S. Mint would switch gears for a new design. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 1990 nickel. On the obverse, you'll find a classic image of Thomas Jefferson, designed by artist Felix Schlag. Jefferson is depicted in profile, looking dignified and thoughtful, a fitting tribute to one of America's founding fathers. This iconic portrait of Jefferson has been on the nickel since 1938, and it remains one of the most recognizable features of U.S. currency. On the reverse of the 1990 nickel, you'll see Monticello, Jefferson's plantation home in Virginia. The image of Monticello has appeared on the reverse of the nickel since 1938 as well, and it represents Jefferson's legacy as a statesman, architect, and visionary. The structure itself, with its classical architectural design, is a symbol of Jefferson's contribution to the United States, both as a leader and a thinker. While the 1990 nickel doesn't feature any new designs or changes, it was still produced during a significant period in U.S. history, making it a desirable piece for collectors to so. Why could the 1990 nickel be worth so much more than its face value of just 5 cents? As with most valuable coins, the key to a 1990 nickel's worth lies in its rarity and condition. While the U.S. Mint produced a large number of these coins, many of them were circulated and have seen wear and tear over the years. But the real value comes from finding a 1990 nickel that's in uncirculated, pristine condition. Coins that have been well preserved, free from scratches, dents, or discoloration, are rare and highly sought after by collectors. If you've got a 1990 nickel that looks brand new, with no signs of wear and still shiny from the minting process, it could be worth much more than 5 cents. Uncirculated coins like this are hard to find, especially after decades of being in circulation, which is what makes them so valuable. But wait, there's more. What makes a 1990 nickel really stand out in the world of coin collecting are the mint errors. If your 1990 nickel has any kind of error in its design or minting process, it could be worth a whole lot more. Mint errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin production process, and these errors can result in coins that are unique or have rare characteristics. For example, some 1990 nickels were struck with double dyes, causing parts of the design to appear doubled or blurred. These are known as double dye errors, and they are highly prized by collectors. Another type of error to look for is an off-center strike. If the coin wasn't perfectly aligned when it was struck, it can result in part of the design being cut off or misplaced. Off-center coins are quite rare, and they are especially valuable among collectors who are looking for unusual or one-of-a-kind pieces. Other potential errors include die cracks, where cracks in the minting die leave marks or imperfections on the coin, and blank planchets, where a coin was struck without a proper design on one side. Each of these errors can dramatically increase the value of a 1990 nickel. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. How much is a 1990 nickel actually worth? Well, if you have an uncirculated 1990 nickel in pristine condition, you could be looking at a value that's far beyond its original 5-cent price tag. And if you happen to find one with a minting error, you could see that value soar even higher. So, if you've got a 1990 nickel in your collection or in your change jar, it could be worth as much as $35,000. Yes, you heard that right, $35,000 for a single nickel. Can you believe that? A small, 5-cent coin could be worth a small fortune if it's in the right condition or has a rare minting error. So, take a moment to go through your coin collection and see if you have one of these valuable 1990 nickels. Well, there you have it. Who knew that a 1990 nickel could be worth so much? If you're a coin collector or just someone who enjoys looking through your spare change, keep an eye out for this rare and valuable piece of U.S. history. You never know, you might just stumble upon a small treasure worth thousands of dollars. On top two, we've got a special treat for you. A seemingly ordinary US 5-cent coin from 1983 that could actually be worth a lot more than you think. Now, I know what you're thinking, a 5-cent coin? How could that be valuable? Well, stick with me until the end, because you might just be surprised by how much this little nickel could be worth. In fact, if you've got one in the right condition, it could be worth up to $40,000. Yes, you heard that right. So let's break down the details of this rare 1983 nickel and see why it's causing such a buzz in the numismatic world. First, let's take a step back and understand the context of the 1983 5-cent coin. The United States was in the midst of the Reagan era, a period marked by significant economic change as the country recovered from the early 1980s recession. This was a time when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins for circulation to meet the growing demands of commerce. The 1983 nickel was part of the long-standing Jefferson nickel series, which has featured Thomas Jefferson on the obverse front of the coin since 1938. Over the years, the design of the nickel has seen minimal changes, except for occasional adjustments to improve the coin's appearance or functionality. In 1983, the coin continued to feature Jefferson's portrait on the front and Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, on the reverse. While most of the 1983 nickels were mass-produced and circulated widely, there are some unique features about this year's issue that make it stand out in the world of coin collecting. Let's take a look at those details. The design of the 1983 nickel is quite familiar to most collectors. On the obverse, you'll find a classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. This iconic image was created by artist Felix Schlag and has appeared on the nickel since 1938. Jefferson is portrayed with a dignified profile, reflecting his important role in shaping the history of the United States. On the reverse side of the 1983 nickel, you'll see Monticello, Jefferson's estate in Virginia. The image of Monticello has graced the reverse of the nickel since 1938 as well. Monticello itself is a symbol of Jefferson's contributions as a founding father, as an architect, and as a thinker. It's a fitting tribute to one of the country's most revered figures. But despite these familiar designs, the real value of the 1983 nickel lies not in its artwork, but in a few specific factors that have come to light among collectors. What really makes this coin so valuable? Let's dive into it.as with most rare coins. The primary factors that influence the value of the 1983 nickel are its rarity and condition. The U.S. Mint produced billions of these coins during 1983, and most of them were circulated in everyday transactions. Over time, these coins became worn down, losing their original shine and clarity. So, finding one in uncirculated condition is quite a rare find. Uncirculated 1983 nickels are highly sought after by collectors because they've been preserved in pristine condition, without the scratches, dents, or discoloration that often come with years of circulation. If you're lucky enough to find an uncirculated 1983 nickel, it could be worth far more than its face value of 5 cents. However, the story doesn't end there. The real game changer for the 1983 nickel comes when you factor in the possibility of mint errors. These errors, though rare, can significantly increase the value of a coin. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in coins with unique features that are not found in typical issues. Now, let's talk about the minting errors that could make a 1983 nickel worth far more than you'd expect. If you're lucky enough to find a 1983 nickel with one of these errors, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Double die errors. One of the most valuable errors a coin can have is a double die. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin malfunctions and strikes the coin more than once, causing part of the design to appear doubled. On a 1983 nickel, this could mean the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust, being doubled. Double die errors are highly prized by collectors and can significantly boost the coin's value. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned when it's struck by the minting press. This can cause part of the design to be missing or shifted. Off-center coins are rare and highly desirable among collectors. If you find an off-center 1983 nickel, it could be worth far more than just 5 cents. Die cracks. Another potential minting error is die cracks, where the die used to strike the coin develops a crack. These cracks leave raised lines on the surface of the coin, which can be clearly visible to the naked eye. Die cracks are often a sign of a coin being struck with a worn-out die, and coins with this error are often sought after by collectors. Clipped planchets. A clipped planchet occurs when a portion of the metal used to strike the coin is missing, resulting in a coin with a bite taken out of the edge. These coins are highly unusual and collectible, and a 1983 nickel with a clipped planchet could fetch a significant premium in the market. So, how much can a 1983 nickel actually be worth? Well, if you've got one in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could already be looking at a nice profit from this 5-cent coin. But if you've got a 1983 nickel with one of the rare mint errors we've talked about, the value could skyrocket. The truth is, a 1983 nickel in excellent condition or with a mint error can be worth much more than face value. And if you happen to have one of these rare coins in your collection, you could be looking at a value of up to $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 for a single nickel. Imagine that, a coin that's worth 40,000 times its original value, just because it was produced with a unique flaw or preserved in mint condition. It's truly amazing what some of these coins are worth. There you have it. The 1983 nickel is far more than just a 5-cent coin. If you have one in your collection or find one in your spare change, make sure to check its condition closely. And keep an eye out for those rare mint errors. They could turn your 5-cent coin into a small fortune. On top 3, we're diving into a coin that's not only rich in history but also holds some pretty serious value. The United States half dollar from 1976. This coin isn't just another part of American numismatic history. It's a true collector's treasure that could be worth far more than you might think. Stick around until the end, because we'll reveal exactly how much this coin could be worth today. Trust us, the value might just surprise you. Let's start with some history. The 1976 half dollar is a special coin commemorating a monumental event, the bicentennial of the United States of America. As you might know, 1976 marked the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and this coin was created to celebrate that incredible milestone in American history. In honor of the occasion, the U.S. Mint released a series of commemorative coins, including the 1976 half dollar, that featured a unique design. Prior to this, the standard Kennedy half dollar had been in circulation since 1964, honoring President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination. But for the 1976 edition, the design was modified to mark the bicentennial, making it a rare and significant issue in the series. So, why is this coin so special? Well, besides being part of a historical celebration, the 1976 half dollar also marks the first time in history that a coin featured a dual date. You'll notice the dates 1776 and 1976 engraved on the coin, representing the birth of the United States and its 200th anniversary. Now, let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse, the front of the coin, we have the portrait of President John F. Kennedy, as designed by sculptor Gilroy Roberts. This portrait is one of the most recognizable images in American numismatics and has graced the Kennedy half dollar since its inception. On the reverse, the back, the bicentennial design is what really sets this coin apart. The reverse features a drummer boy, a symbol of the American Revolution, along with a 13-star motif representing the original 13 colonies. The inclusion of the drummer boy honors the people who fought for American independence, while the 13 stars symbolize the nation's beginnings. Above the drummer boy is the inscription United States of America, and below it is E pluribus unum, out of many one, along with the denomination half dollar. This unique design was created by Jack Ahr, who was an engraver at the U.S. Mint. The combination of historical significance and artistic detail makes the 1976 half dollar a highly sought-after collector's item. But why does this coin hold such value in today's market? Well, despite being produced in large numbers, over 200 million were minted in 1976. The bicentennial half dollar remains popular among collectors because of its special design and its connection to a pivotal moment in U.S. history. The key to its value lies in its condition. Like most coins, the better its condition, the more valuable it becomes. A coin that has been carefully preserved, with no scratches, dings, or wear marks, is far more valuable than one that's been heavily circulated. Coins in mint state, those that appear almost as if they were just minted, are the ones that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. But that's not all. There are some specific rarities within the 1976 half dollar series that can make the coin even more valuable. For example, some of the coins were struck in 40% silver, which makes them more desirable due to the higher metal content. These are often referred to as the silver bicentennial half dollars, and they were issued for collectors, not for general circulation. If you're lucky enough to own one of these silver versions, your coin could be worth much more than its face value. Additionally, there have been minting errors reported on some of the 1976 coins, such as off-center strikes, double strikes, or planchet flaws. These errors make a coin even more unique and, therefore, even more valuable in the eyes of collectors. So, keep an eye out for those oddities, because they can drastically increase the worth of your coin. So, how much can a 1976 half dollar be worth? If you happen to have one in mint condition, or if it's one of the silver versions, the value could range from a few dollars to a few hundred. But if you happen to find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, the value can be incredibly high. In fact, a 1976 half dollar in excellent condition, with no visible wear, or a silver version with a special error, can be worth as much as $40,000. Yes, you heard that right. $40,000 for a single 1976 half dollar. That's the potential value of a coin that, at first glance, might seem like just another piece of change from a historical year. So, what do you think? The 1976 half dollar is a fantastic example of how a coin can have both historical significance and substantial value in the collector market. If you have one of these coins in your collection, or if you come across one, be sure to check its condition carefully. You might be holding onto a piece of history worth $40,000. On top 4, we're going to take a closer look at a coin you might not think twice about. The United States 5-cent coin from 2004, better known as the nickel. While this may seem like an ordinary nickel to most, the 2004 5-cent coin holds a surprising secret. It could be worth a lot more than you might think. Up to $20,000. Yes, you heard that right. This small coin has the potential to be worth a small fortune. Stick around as we dive into why this seemingly regular coin is so valuable and what makes it stand out in the world of collectors. To really understand why the 2004 nickel has such potential, we need to take a step back in time. The United States 5-cent coin has a long and rich history, dating back to 1866, with several different designs over the years. Since 1938, the Jefferson nickel has been the standard design, featuring the portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the image of his Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. But in 2004, something interesting happened. The U.S. Mint decided to commemorate the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase, an event that greatly expanded the size of the United States in 1803. As part of this commemoration, the Mint released a series of special edition nickels featuring new reverse designs, celebrating the different stages of Lewis and Clark's expedition, which was made possible by the Louisiana Purchase. The 2004 5-cent coin was part of this unique series, and the reverse design features a beautiful image of the keelboat used by Lewis and Clark during their historic journey. This design marked a significant departure from the typical Monticello design, making the 2004 nickel an exciting addition to the Jefferson nickel series and a coin that would soon capture the attention of collectors. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the 2004 nickel. On the obverse, we see the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by artist Felix Schlag. Jefferson is shown in profile, his face framed by the iconic inscription, Liberty, in the year 2004. This side of the coin remains consistent with other Jefferson nickels, which is why the real excitement lies on the reverse. On the reverse of the 2004 nickel, we see the keelboat, an essential vessel used by Lewis and Clark during their expedition. The image shows the boat floating on the river, with two explorers standing at the bow. This dramatic scene is rich in historical significance, as the keelboat was critical to their exploration of the American West. The design is not only a tribute to a pivotal moment in American history, but also showcases the stunning artistry of the U.S. Mint. This reverse design is part of a series of 4 different designs released in 2004 and 2005, each representing a different phase of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The 2004 nickel stands as a testament to the spirit of exploration and adventure that defined America during its early years. What makes the 2004 5-cent coin stand out from the millions of other coins minted that year? Well, just like any collectible coin, the key to its value lies in its rarity and condition. While the 2004 nickel was produced in large numbers, most of these coins were circulated and have suffered wear and tear over the years. As a result, finding one in pristine condition is rare and can make all the difference in terms of value. An uncirculated 2004 nickel that has been carefully stored in excellent condition is far more valuable than one that's been tossed around in change. If you happen to come across a 2004 nickel that looks as though it was just minted, congratulations. You could be holding on to a rare and valuable coin. But condition isn't the only factor that determines a coin's worth. There are also certain features or errors that could significantly increase its value. One of the main reasons collectors go crazy for coins like the 2004 nickel is because of the potential for minting errors. These errors occur during the production process and can result in coins with unique features that are highly desirable to collectors. Here are some minting errors to look out for on your 2004 nickel. Double die errors. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the same die, causing part of the design to appear doubled. A double die error on a 2004 nickel could make the coin worth far more than its face value, especially if the doubling is noticeable on important areas like the date or the word Liberty. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. These types of coins are unique and sought after by collectors because they are much rarer than coins with standard strikes. Die cracks. Sometimes, the dies used to strike coins develop cracks, which then transfer onto the coin itself. These cracks can result in raised lines on the surface of the coin, making it a one-of-a-kind piece that stands out in any collection. Clipped planchets. A clipped planchet error happens when a piece of the metal planchet, the blank coin, is missing, causing part of the edge of the coin to be clipped. This error is rare and can make a 2004 nickel worth significantly more than its face value. If you find a 2004 nickel with one of these minting errors, you could be looking at a much higher value than you might expect. So, how much could a 2004 nickel actually be worth? If you have a well-preserved 2004 nickel in mint condition, or better yet, a coin with a rare minting error, it could be worth a lot more than you might think. After all, a 2004 nickel with the right condition or error could be worth up to $20,000. Yes, that's $20,000 for a single nickel. Just imagine what you could do with that kind of money. So, before you toss any 2004 nickels into your pocket change jar, take a good look at them. They could be worth far more than just 5 cents. So, the next time you come across a 2004 nickel, make sure to check its condition and see if it has any minting errors. It could be worth a lot more than you think. On Top 5, we're diving into a coin that you might have overlooked at first glance, the 2022 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. But trust me, this isn't just any ordinary nickel. In fact, it could be worth much more than you might think. Stick with me as we explore the value of the 2022 5-cent coin and discover why it could be worth a shocking amount of money. You won't want to miss this. The United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, has a history that dates all the way back to 1866, and it's a coin that has undergone various design changes over the years. Today, the nickel is instantly recognizable with its familiar obverse portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, and on the reverse, Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, proudly stands. But in 2004, things took an interesting turn when the U.S. Mint began to release a series of special nickels celebrating the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark expedition. Fast forward to 2022, and the U.S. Mint released a new version of the 5-cent coin to commemorate the rich history of the United States. And that's where the excitement begins. The 2022 nickel brings new elements to the design, and it's not just about the artwork. There are some really interesting factors that could make this coin a hidden gem in your collection. Let's take a closer look at the design, the potential value, and what makes it so special. On the obverse of the 2022 nickel, you'll find the traditional image of President Thomas Jefferson, who was the third president of the United States. However, there's a twist. In 2005, a new portrait of Jefferson was unveiled, which is the one we see on the 2022 coin. The design features a youthful and forward-looking image of Jefferson, and it was created by renowned artist Felix Schlag. This portrait has been part of the coin since its debut, and it continues to be one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage. The reverse side of the 2022 nickel, however, is where things get interesting. While the Monticello design has remained unchanged for decades, the 2022 version features a more modern and detailed representation of Monticello. It's a subtle yet important change, reflecting the Mint's commitment to continually refining and updating coin designs while preserving their historical significance. This change in the reverse design could make the 2022 nickel a key date for collectors, especially those who are looking for variations and updates in the Jefferson nickel series. But that's not all. What makes this particular nickel even more special is the possibility of some unique errors or variations, which we'll get into in just a bit. Now, let's talk about the real reason you're here. What makes this coin so valuable? Like all coins, the value of the 2022 nickel depends largely on its rarity and condition. Although the U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins, not all of them will hold their value. Over time, many of these nickels were spent in daily transactions, which means that the majority of them are now worn, damaged, or otherwise less desirable to collectors. However, there is a key factor that sets certain 2022 nickels apart from the rest: condition. A nickel that has been kept in mint condition or has been carefully stored away could be worth far more than its face value. Coins in perfect, uncirculated condition are always in high demand among collectors, and they tend to fetch higher prices at auctions or in private sales. If you have a 2022 nickel that looks like it just came out of the minting process, shiny, fresh, and free of scratches, you're definitely sitting on something valuable. But beyond that, there are a few specific features that could take the value of this coin to an entirely new level. Now, here's where things get really exciting for serious collectors. Minting errors or variants can make a coin drastically more valuable. Coins with these special features are considered rare and unique, and they are highly sought after by collectors who want to own a piece of history that stands out from the rest. Here are a few potential errors you should keep an eye out for on the 2022 5-cent coin: double die errors. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the same die, causing the design to appear doubled. A double die error on the 2022 nickel could make the coin worth significantly more, especially if the doubling appears on key areas like the date or liberty. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is not perfectly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted. These errors are rare and highly desirable to collectors, especially if the off-center strike is dramatic and easy to spot. Clipped planchets. If the blank metal used to make the coin was clipped or not cut correctly, it could result in a coin with a clipped edge. This unique error can drastically increase the value of the coin, especially if it's an early strike from the mint. Die cracks. Sometimes, the dies used to mint the coins develop cracks, which then appear on the coins themselves. These die cracks can add a unique visual feature to a coin, making it highly collectible and increasing its value. If you're lucky enough to find a 2022 nickel with one of these minting errors, you could be looking at a coin that's worth far more than just 5 cents. So, what's the potential value of a 2022 nickel? Well, if you've got one in mint condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error or variant, you could be sitting on a small fortune. A 2022 nickel in uncirculated condition, or with a rare minting error, could be worth as much as $25,000. That's right, $25,000 for a single nickel. It's incredible how a seemingly ordinary coin can carry such a hefty price tag when it's in the right condition or has that rare, unique feature. So, the next time you come across a 2022 nickel, be sure to take a close look. You never know what hidden treasures you might find. I hope you enjoyed today's video and learned a little more about the 2022 United States 5-cent coin and its potential value. If you think you might have a rare, valuable 2022 nickel in your collection, Don't hesitate to have it appraised by a professional or check out online marketplaces to see how much it could be worth. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our future coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!